Hi, I'm Stephen Urban, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Focus, unlocking your leadership potential. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. This episode is actually a companion piece to our previously recorded discussion on setting healthy boundaries. You're about to hear 3 stories of real people who struggled with unhealthy boundaries at work. While I've changed their names and some details to protect their privacy, these examples show how damaging poor boundaries can actually be, leading to things like burnout, damaged relationships, and even career derailment. The important part here, though, is that these individuals ultimately turn things around. My hope is that by sharing these stories, you'll better understand what unhealthy boundaries look like and gain insight into how you can overcome similar challenges. So let's explore this through 3 real-world examples as we meet Sarah, Carlos, and Mia. Our first story, the overcommitted leader. We'll start with Sarah, a senior manager at a consulting firm. Sarah was known for always saying yes. Extra projects? Yes. Weekend work? Yes. Covering for colleagues? Absolutely. At first, she thought this made her indispensable, but over time, the cracks started to show. Sarah's 12-hour days became the norm, and she started missing important family events. Her physical health deteriorated, with constant migraines and sleepless nights, and her work really suffered. Deadlines slipped and her team lost trust in her ability to lead effectively. So what went wrong? Sarah didn't set boundaries. She equated saying no with letting others down. But in reality, her lack of boundaries let herself down and her team. When she finally sought coaching, we worked together to redefine her priorities and practice saying no without guilt. Over time, Sarah felt comfortable saying no with confidence and kindness, which allowed her to concentrate on her top priorities at work and at home. She went from 12-hour workdays to 8, work-free vacations, and getting restful sleep nightly. Our second story, the boundaryless team member. Now, I want to tell you about Carlos, a high-performing team member in a tech startup. Carlos's passion for his work was undeniable, but he had no boundaries when it came to availability. He answered emails at midnight, jumped on calls during vacation, and constantly took on tasks outside of his role. Carlos's manager praised him as committed, but the reality was different. His colleagues started to resent him because they felt his overcommitment set unrealistic expectations for the team. Carlos also began feeling undervalued. Despite all of his extra effort, he wasn't promoted or recognized as he had hoped. Why? Carlos's lack of boundaries blurred the lines of his responsibilities. He unintentionally trained others to take his extra effort for granted. Once he started setting limits on his time and advocating for his role, his relationships and confidence improved dramatically. Our third story, the silent burnout. Finally, let's talk about Mia, a mid-level manager who wanted to keep the peace. Whenever a colleague crossed her boundaries, whether it was dumping last-minute work on her or making inappropriate comments, she stayed silent. She worried that speaking up would create conflict or damage her reputation. But over time, Mia's silence turned into resentment. She withdrew from colleagues and stopped enjoying her work. It wasn't until she hit full burnout and had to take a leave of absence that she realized the cost of not enforcing her boundaries. So what's the lesson here? Failing to set boundaries doesn't just affect you in the moment. It can erode your motivation, your relationships, and well-being over time. For Mia, she had addressed the issues early, using clear but respectful communication to protect her energy and her mental health. So what's the overall takeaway? Boundaries aren't just about protecting yourself. They're about creating sustainable success for you and those around you. Whether you're like Sarah, Carlos, or Mia, the sooner you set healthy boundaries, the better your work and life will be. If these stories resonate with you, take a moment to reflect. Where are your boundaries weak, and what small steps can you take today to strengthen them? If you're looking for help in finding your voice when it comes to setting boundaries, let's talk. You can book time with me via my website at buildyouralliance.com. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe for 5 minutes of focus. And let me know in the comments if you have a boundary-related story to share. It's important for people to realize they are not alone when it comes to this topic. Until next time, keep leading with intention and boundaries. Thank you.